Great. Well, thanks everyone for coming back so promptly after lunch. We're approaching the denouement of our 3-day event. Just before we move to what I suspect some of you are particularly waiting for, it's the prizes. I look forward to introducing our next speaker. So Professor Sir Jim McDonald, he's the President of the Royal Academy of Engineering. More importantly, perhaps for today, he's the Vice-Chancellor and Principal of the University of Strathclyde and has been a huge sponsor and advocate for what we've been doing in CMAC since we started over 10 years ago. So with that, I'll hand over to you, Jim.
Well, good afternoon, colleagues. I feel like the guy that has just come into a party after all the fun's been had and you're all getting into your taxis to go back home, which I suppose by and large that is exactly what's happening, Alistair. But anyway, and I heard that you had an excellent conference dinner last night at the Barony as well, so that's a real jewel in the crown of the Strathclyde's estate, and we use that, of course, for special guests, and all of you were that, so I'm very pleased that you were able to enjoy that as well. Very fittingly, you're in this place. I know some of you have been here before, the Technology and Innovation Centre. You're right at the heart, geographically and I would say strategically, of the Glasgow City Innovation District. This is Scotland's first innovation district. There are others now emerging, which is great, and we share our experience, which really creates the environment where high quality research, which many of you undertake directly, meets public sector and private sector partners, not least Tier 1, Tier 2 industrial partners. So the big players, their supply chain partners and the likes, to create what has been referred to by colleagues in DCIT as the Strathclyde ecosystem, because we've got an innovation district here hosting the CMAC event, and of course you epitomise all of that. It's that convergence between industry demand, commercial opportunity and competitive advantage, alongside excellent research. And I should also say a big warm welcome to the other academic partners, because what's at the heart of what Alistair and Massimo drives is a deep commitment to collaboration. And I think that has been a key characteristic of CMAC from the very outset. I want to give a shout out to Paul Sherrick, who's here, who's been on this journey with us from the very start. As you heard, I'm an engineer, I'm an electrical engineer, so the stuff that you do is quite magic for me. Don't have a clue. I've been practicing to say oligonucleotides for years. Still trying to figure out what it means, but never mind. What I'll do is I'll keep the lights on while you guys are doing your interesting work in the laboratories. But Paul, thank you very much for your long journey with us. And I was involved right at the start of this journey as well, having created by and large, an aerospace equivalent of this entity with Rolls-Royce, Boeing and their supply chain. And colleagues originally from GSK wanted to know how that worked, and it formed a model which Alistair has taken to the next level with support from colleagues such as Paul. I would also mention that whole triple helix concept or construct. The triple helix approach is well understood. It's how you execute on it which really matters. And with Strathclyde and its many academic partners across the UK and beyond, working with the industry partners, and it's great to have you here, and thank you for your ongoing commitment. But the public sector partnerships are key, not least UKRI, and a big thanks to UKRI for their ongoing support. Of course, anything that Alistair and the team bring in has to be competitively evaluated, so the science has to be good, the proposition and the outcomes has to be good. But I think there's signs here that the resonance with CMAC, with the national agenda, is clear. And as we go forward with the various programmes, not least RPIF, I mean, RPIF was probably the underpinning, in fact, was the underpinning for the national facility here in Tick, and through that, various other investments, CDTs, Centres for Doctoral Training, and more recently, the second stages of RPIF funding around decarbonisation, because that's a big ticket item for your industry as well, of course, as well as for society at large. You know, net zero by 2050 trips off the tongue. But unless we include decarbonisation of industries, it's not just about wind farms, it's certainly that smart grid, hydrogen, but the energy usage in your industry is enormous, and the waste management is key, so that whole circular economy piece is key. And I know, being a regular visitor to the labs upstairs, I like being a tourist in my own place, I can see exactly the direction of travel around that digital manufacturing. I also mentioned the Glasgow City Innovation District. We have another major innovation district, which our friends and colleagues at CPI lead out at the Advanced Manufacturing District. They lead MMIC, which the Medicines Manufacturing Innovation Centre. Strathclyde runs and operates the AMIDS. That's a national facility. The National Manufacturing Institute, the Advanced Forming Research Centre, the Lightweight Manufacturing Centre. We're just about to open a new entity called the Advanced Net Zero Innovation Centre, which is predominantly for transport. But the point I was going to make is Industry 4.0 touches all sectors. You know, as you go towards greater data analytics, you know, machine learning, robotics, advanced materials, virtual reality and the likes, augmented reality. And I was having a conversation very recently with Frank at CPI that there's a real opportunity to do a read across here in terms of what we're doing in energy and manufacturing for aerospace and automotive. And as I say, CPI and ourselves are well underway on that one. So there's lots of leverage there. And behind all of that, again, collaboration, shared vision in terms of what you're doing. So the other thing we must not forget is the talent pipeline that CMAC and its partners, all the academics as well as the industry partners. To be frank, that's one of the biggest contributions you'll make to your industry. It's well research led and trained individuals, many of whom are in the audience. It's great to see them here because you're going to be the drivers for the next phase of this industry. And having been working in direct sort of use-inspired research in CMAC and the labs here and other parts of the country, you're an invaluable asset for the industry. And I think that's another thing that we need to bear in mind. I've got to imagine across the group there'll be well over 100 PhDs that will have been generated over the time, and that's an army of talent, and we probably want to put multipliers on that over the next few years because it's not just about refreshing the workforce. There's lots of experienced people in here, but it's about creating a new workforce that's going to be striving into that new continuous manufacturing crystallization technology that's digitized, that's decarbonized, and then we can get after those oligonucleotides as well. I've been practicing it so much I thought I'd say it another couple of times. But anyway, without me delaying you any further from the highlight of the end of the conference, i.e. getting the prizes, let me again say I hope you've had a good time. And to Alistair Massimo and the team, not least Morel, thank you very much for organising this. It's a great pleasure for us to be so deeply engaged with the academic and industrial community in this space. And thanks once again to our colleagues in UKRI and others that put direct support for that, because that's when you get that read back into the UKRI strategy. So with that, farewell, enjoy your prizes, and remember, we're all prize winners in the room today. But whoever's getting the real prizes, you can share that if you're going to the pub before you get to the train station. Anyway, with that, I'll say goodbye. Thank you very much.
So, we move to the prize giving section. Thanks very much for all of the efforts, pulling all of the work together. I think the posters, showcases, the demonstrators, the presentations have all been fantastic. So just many thanks to everybody who's contributed. I'm going to contradict Jim. We have a finite number of prizes, just to be clear. And so to break the good news, I'll invite Ivan to come, and he's going to hand out the poster prizes. I shall give you, you've got your information?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I was kind of trying to hide it, but I don't know if anyone's had a sneak preview. But yeah, obviously this is the most anticipated moment of the event. But I think it's a really significant moment because essentially we are celebrating the outstanding contributions to research that have been showcased during the event, and just both the breadth and the depth of the work that have been presented has just been outstanding. So regardless of who gets the prize, I hope you can share with me the fact that everything that we've seen during this particular event has been very significant in terms of advancing how we pursue the CMAC strategy. So just in case there's any maths aficionados in there, I think there was a total of about 65 posters, of which 55 were judged by an actual panel, and 65 could be voted for by the general attendees. So there's There's multiple categories, and there's also a kind of an audience set of prizes. So without further ado, I'm going to get started. So the first prize, the category is Quality by Digital Design and Digital Workflows, and the winner is Eleanor Jones. Thank you. Congratulations. I would probably need a photo of. Okay. The next category is for data and digital twin, and the winner is Theo Tate. Congratulations. We'll do it properly this time. I think we'll yeah, you go. Very natural. Congratulations. Okay, so for the next category is microfactories and advanced process technology, and the winner is Isra Ibrahim. The next category, which I think is the last category that was judged by the official panel, it's quite exciting. We actually have two joint winners. The category was data factories and model-driven experiments, and the winners are Amal Osman and Daniel Powell. Okay, so we now have the attendees awards. So we have a runner-up and a winner. So the runner-up is Mohammed Salihan. Congratulations. Last but not least, we have the, and this is not an easy audience to please, so I hope you share the excitement on behalf of the winner with me. The winner for the overall attendees award prize is Theo Tate again. Congratulations again. Thank you very much. Thanks. So thanks again. Thank you to everyone who's presented the poster for putting so much passion in showcasing your work, and I hope you found it an exciting and constructive experience. I certainly know that myself and many of my colleagues have enjoyed that. I think over to the next bit, which is, I think, back to Alistair. Thank you.
So in addition to, I guess, focus on research, which has been a huge part of obviously what CMAC is trying to do, I think it's also recognising the operational excellence that we have and try and foster here in CMAC. I'm delighted to be able to acknowledge the contributions from a couple of our colleagues for their contributions. This has been voted on by members of the Centre, and it's really focused on the CMAC management support team, who, as you know, if it were left to me, no meeting would run ever, never mind on time. No event would ever take place without some catastrophic disaster. And the true incompetence that I bring would be fully exposed. So I'm completely dependent on the members of the team, and we'll be talking a little bit about the Open Day in a moment. But just really, if you want to, can join me in thanking the winners of this year's Excellence Awards. We have 2 winners. And I'll just say why they've won the award before inviting them up for their to collect it. So, two names. I don't think there's a rank order here, is there? No. No. I need to be, for reasons that will become apparent, I need to be very careful. So Aruna Prakash is first winner. So Aruna goes above and beyond her job description to help out in many areas, and she always shows a proactive approach in resolving problems. So can do, yes, it can always be done. So thanks to Aruna, and we'll hand the prize over in a moment. The second winner of our Excellence Awards this year is Mirelle Kerr. So Mirelle is a great team player, manages a hugely diverse workload with a smile. And she always has to put up with myself and Massimo every day. So extra kudos for that. But if we can congratulate both the prize winners, if we could ask them up, we'll give them their awards. So, just to reiterate, I think some of the remarks you've already heard. I hope you've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed seeing everyone here together. All of the discussions have been fantastic feedback so far. I think some great innovations, I think, around how we've started to present and showcase some of the work that we're doing. So can only ask everyone to keep that up, and we'll look forward to how we can build on this for next year's Open Day. So just before we formally close, I'd just like to thank the organising committee, the working group and the management support team. I can't mention everybody, or we will be here all day, but there's been a huge amount of work. The planning for this started essentially at the start of the year, and largely through Helen's, I think, diligent management of us all in making sure those meetings took place and all the actions followed up. But just special thanks to Helen, Ian McCartney, Lorna, Janine, Thomas, Scott, Rebecca Graham and Elba, and all the PhD helpers over the last couple of days. So we just join me in giving them a round of thanks. That team will be receiving a small token of appreciation separately. Mirelle will organise that. So, really that brings us to the end of today. Sorry, has already organised that. Of our open days. We do have refreshments outside. There is another, if you're booked on the lab tours, then I hope you enjoy those. The team will be ready and willing to show you around. Other than that, I guess we do have some questionnaires. If there's any feedback, that any areas that we can help improve, or what you thought was really good, that we can take on board and build on for next time. But so really just to thank everyone for your participation and wish you all safe travel on your journeys home. But thank you all very much.